It's the Andy Griffith Show, Facts and Trivia, with your host, Bob Snap.
Hi guys, welcome to the Andy Griffith Show, Facts and Trivia. Thank you for being here. Today's video is on Andy himself, his family, and how he was affected on a very deep level by his son's death. Even after he became a huge TV star, Andy Griffith liked to spend his summers in North Carolina without shoes. He would go into stores barefoot, sometimes even without a shirt. His daughter Dixie Griffith told Closer. He wasn't a typical Hollywood type. Growing up in a blue-collar Mount Airy, Andy would never have dared dream of a home as beautiful as a 70-acre estate in Roanoke Island in the Outer Banks, but returning to his native state every summer still helped him recall his roots. That's where he felt free, Dixie said. We would go on boat trips, play volleyball, go water skiing. He loved to entertain and was pretty much the life of the party. Entertaining started off as a survival skill that Andy, an only child, learned in his youth. His father was a foreman in a furniture factory, so his parents could dress Andy well. That worked against him because a lot of the kids from the poor side of Mount Airy were not clean or well-dressed, and Andy got bullied a lot as a kid, said Daniel Device, author of Andy and Dawn, The Making of a Friendship, and classic American TV show. Andy hit a major turning point in his life when he discovered that he could deflect bullies' anger by making them laugh. He took drama at Mount Airy High School and learned to play music, a talent that Andy would hone throughout his life. He was very, very into music. He had guitars, banjos, horns, and a piano, Dixie reveals. He could play pretty much any instrument. Andy's album, I Love to Tell the Story, 25 Timeless Hymns, even won a Grammy Award in 1997. On his way to earning a degree in music from the University of North Carolina, Andy briefly considered becoming a preacher. Faith would always play an important part in his life, especially in his troubled times. I firmly believe that in every situation, no matter how difficult, God extends grace greater than the hardships and strength and peace of mind that can lead us to a place higher than where we were before, he said. In college, he acted with Carolina Playmakers and started to write his own material. He was always urged me to write screenplays and scripts, his Matlock co-star Nancy Stabber told Closer. He knew that it was a place where you could exert more creative control. Andy's writing opened the door to a show business career. His comic monologue, What It Was Football, in which he played a country bumpkin trying to explain the sport, became a national hit in 1953. The recording paved the way for Andy to star in a teleplay, No Time for Sergeants, in 1955, a role that he would reprise in the movie. Over the next few years, he tried his hand at radio and more films, including his villainous turn in 1957's A Face in the Crowd. But after producers saw him on Broadway in Destry Rides Again, Andy was offered his own TV series. The Andy Griffith Show originated in an episode of the Danny Thomas Show, in which Sheriff Taylor arrests Danny for running a stop sign. The spin-off series about a widower raising his young son Opie in Mayberry, North Carolina, debuted on October 2nd, 1960, and would run for 8 seasons. As Andy's star rose, his personal troubles mounted. He had married Barbara Edwards, a fellow performer, in 1949. They adopted 2 children, Andy Samuel Griffith Jr., known as Sam, in 1957, and daughter Dixie a year later. I thought he was absolutely great dad, said Dixie, who says Andy always found time to play with her and her brother. Andy loved fatherhood, but his marriage became unhappy. They would stay married for another 10 years, but Andy had other relationships, and he and Barbara fought a lot, said Device, who admits that as a husband, Andy could be a handful. Both drank too much, setting off more arguments. The marriage finally ended in 1972, and Sam and Dixie were teenagers. Later on, Andy might have wondered what effect the divorce had on his son. Sam spent many years in trouble with the law before he died of alcoholism in 1996 at the age of 38. He and his famous father, who had paid for his rehab twice, were estranged at the time of Sam's death. My brother had some troubles, but it wasn't my dad's fault, said Dixie. Sam's passing affected him on a very deep level. Because of the publicity surrounding Sam's death, Andy, who had just wrapped up 9 seasons on Matlock, didn't attend a funeral. It was not surprising. Andy hated speculation about his private life. He thought there would be too many people there, too many magazines and cameras, said Dixie. Sam's death would remain a great sorrow, although Andy declined to talk about it publicly. Only his faith, the love of his third wife, Cindy Knight, and his family helped him survive it. Andy, the person, would never be as perfect as the characters he embodied on TV, but he was proud to have created role models anyone could aspire to, even himself. He left us with characters that emulate the best of American values, said Nancy. Andy Taylor was a father, leader, a friend, and neighbor. Ben Matlock was a defense attorney who would fight to the bitter end. Years before he passed away in 2012 at age 86, Andy retired to North Carolina to spend time with Cindy and tend his garden. Andy was not a public person, co-star Jim Nabors told Closer. He loved doing his work, but he didn't like getting out in the public. He handled fame his own way. And that he did. And I always thought, how could a father not go to his son's funeral? I mean, I know they were estranged or whatever, but then when I realized, I just did a video on this too, that he was buried, Andy was buried 4 hours after he died. It was all about, he didn't like that crowd. He didn't like, he wanted to keep his life private, and it just, I understand, totally understand now. Just a sad thing though, that, you and your son, not that it was his fault. Please check out Classic Rural Comedies, Facts, and Trivia. I'd appreciate it. Today's on Jim Nabors and how he couldn't understand why some people didn't like it. Classic TV, Facts, and Trivia. Family Affair. Star Johnny Whitaker. He opens up about Anissa Jones's tragic suicide, death, and giving Jodie Foster her first on-screen kiss. Classic Rock, Country Music, Facts, and Trivia is on. 3 last performances by these male country icons. John Prine, Glenn Campbell, and Johnny Cash. This is a pretty cool one. Faith and Entertainment. When is The Chosen Season 6 coming out? And I'm going to give you everything that I know so far. Please subscribe if you have not yet. Please like this video. I'd appreciate it. You guys have a great day. God bless you. And I'm praying for you.